Welcome back to our YouTube channel. We are today filming a really special house. It's a small holiday cottage in West Cork and our clients live overseas, so they wanted us to decorate somewhere that feels really kind of homely and cottagey for them to come back to in Ireland. So I'm going to take you through all the details today, and there's lots of cute little details in this house, so I'm excited to share them all with you. In the cottage, basically when the clients are here, they've got young girls, so because they'll be outdoors and there's typically a lot of rain in Ireland, they like using this kind of boot room entrance into the house. So we gave them some storage in here, so we did tall doors and we did that really kind of traditional cottagey look with the style we did on the doors. And we also did this little detail at the top, which is quite cute, just to give the cabinets a bit of visual interest. Also, what we used in here is like this really rich mustardy ochre colour, and it's so warm. And we actually used 3 paint colours in here. We did the darker colour on the cabinets. I'll show you the panelling in a moment. That's like a lighter colour again. And then on the internal windows and doors, it's like a lovely kind of country green colour. The other really beautiful detail in this room is these rustic terracotta tiles in hexagon. They're lovely. They feel very old, they feel very rustic, they're very imperfect, so they really suit the character of the cottage. In this space we have the lovely kind of vaulted ceiling, and actually what was here originally was these oak beams, and we really wanted to bring in some beams into the house, but we thought with what was there we might have to replace them because they were painted so many times and they were in this kind of white paint and they weren't very nice. So what we did was we stripped them right back and we left them untreated, and they've turned out so nicely. Whenever I post them on Instagram, people are asking where we got the beams, and they're actually original to the house. We just retreated them and they look great. The other nice thing in here is this lovely light fitting. It's like a white kind of plaster effect, so it's really elegant and it's quite oversized, which I love in the space because it highlights all of the ceiling height in this room. I also did paneling on the opposite walls here just to make more height in the space, and I did them in a lighter colour to the woodwork but still a lovely warm colour, so there's a lovely warm feeling in this room, which is nice. And over in the sink area, so this is where they're going to wash muddy boots and do all of the laundry, so we wanted to make a little bit of a feature out of the sink, so I undermounted a Belfast type sink, and I did Arbuscato Corsia marble, which has that lovely white veining, or white marble I should say, with that veining coming through, and we clad the front of the sink in the same marble so that you could really get to see a good piece of the marble on the front of it. And we have a really pretty Roman blind gun in here, so we did this one with this lovely little detail in it which picks out the 2 tones in the paint colours that we've chosen, and you can see the lovely sash window in green, which is really cottagey. And then one other thing I wanted to show you in here actually is just around this side. So this is where the clients will hang their coats and umbrellas to go straight outside, and we did this beautiful fabric on the bench seat here that again really ties in with the colour scheme. I love that kind of very simple geometric pattern, and I just love the way it works so well with the main cabinet colour. kitchen space, and this is one of my favorite spaces in the home. We did this really special backsplash. It's like handmade tiles, and the tiler absolutely hated installing them because they're quite tricky to work with. You can see kind of the pattern and they're all uneven. So perfect for that rustic cottage look, but definitely not the tiler's favourite to work with. We did a lovely marble as well, and we did a chunkier edge on the kitchen. We painted the kitchen in this pop of colour, and we did the lovely brass handles, and they're in a living finish, so they'll keep getting a patina over time. And we did this kind of double-edged shelf either side of the cooker hood. We did these overhead lights there from Mullen Lighting, which are a lovely Irish brand. They're all made in Ireland. And the other really beautiful piece in this kitchen is this range cooker, which a range cooker can be such a lovely focal point, and the client loved this one. It's from the brand Elive, I believe they're called. And then we did the pot filler, so you can just fill up your pots that are on the range cooker. And we did this bespoke hood, and what we did on it was like a lovely lime wash finish so that it doesn't look too new. And we also painted this entire room in lime wash from Bauwerk. I'll put the colour in the show notes afterwards. And the other thing about this room is we had the original beams, and we also put in two Veluxes for some more natural light. And we have that nice little bit of extra height in here, so that's really nice to have. Over here we've two arches we put in, one going into a little walk-in pantry, which I'll show you in a moment, and one going back out to the boot room, and there's like a little WC in there as well. And the other thing I wanted to show you in the kitchen was on this side of the island, there's actually a really special sink. So just rather than a plain Belfast sink, we got this one with the edge detail, and then we put a little marble shelf in underneath, and we have the cooker hot water tap. You'll also notice on the kitchen itself, we did another slightly different edge to the main kitchen run on the edge of the island. We did oak as the island finish just to break it up a little bit. And then on the other side of the island, we have it backlit, so you have that lovely glow of light under the island at night. And these are cute little linen shades we got online, and they're just kind of soft and cottagey looking. So I'll show you the pantry next. This is the walk-in pantry, and we did a really fun cottagey wallpaper. I'll also link this one in the description. We picked up the green of the leaves in the corbels, so we painted all of the corbels underneath the open shelving just to tie in the green with that. And something else I really like in here is the slatted detail on the shelves, and it might be hard for you to see, but there's that lovely dovetailing that you can see on the front of the shelves there as well, which is lovely. And this is just a great extra workspace for the client, so they can prep food in here and store all of their foodstuffs, and they have some nice big drawers as well for food storage, which is great. So that is the pantry area. Obviously we've no natural light in here, so we did some backlighting on the shelves, which feels lovely and warm in this space. Now we're in a tiny little WC downstairs, and we made it quite dramatic by going for this black cellulose tile, and we did a black grout with it as well, so it feels kind of nice and atmospheric and moody in here. And what we did on the ceiling is we actually painted it in like a soft pink, and we picked that up with the cute little mirror, the two-tone mirror. We did lilac marble on the vanity. The vanity we made bespoke, and we did little scallop edges at the bottom and these cute handles just to give it a little bit of extra detail. And also in here we have that terracotta floor running through from the mudroom. We did the nice kind of cottage style doors as well. And then over here we did a really nice bespoke Roman blind, which picks up on the black and also the warmer tone of the floor. And if you follow me around to the other side, you'll see there's actually like a little shower in here as well. It's a little bit of a squeeze in here, but we have this nice scallop edge kind of curtain that you can pull it around and take a little shower in here. And it's just a nice wet room to have downstairs if they are muddy from outside or whatever, and the nice kind of chrome shower fittings. And we have two little niches in here as well, and we have them lit with very soft little lights. So now we're going to have a look in the living room. What we did with this entrance is we clad it in oak just to make a nice little kind of portal view into the living space. So come on in and I'll show you. So what we did in this room was we did one really large sofa, and this was a Vincent van Dyson sofa kind of collection he did with Zara Home, and it's a really nice one. It has that lovely skirt. And then we layered up the rugs. So we did a sisal rug for texture in the space, and then I found this antique one, and it has lots of lovely colour coming through. So that's something we love to do, is kind of layering rugs just for a little bit of added depth. On the coffee table then we have just a mix of accessories. This one is quite special, another piece I bought at auction, but it's Connemara marble, and it's this lovely horse. And I've mentioned before, I love getting a few unique accessories that have a little bit of a story behind them. On the ceiling here, you'll notice that I look very tall, but we have really low ceilings, and that was what we were working with. That was the existing in the house. So these little lats were here already, and we just repainted the walls. So on a couple of the walls here, one of them being this one, we did a rough plaster and then we lime washed over it. So there is actually texture on some of the walls here that we asked the builder to bring in, just to give that kind of old world feel. Then the other thing here is we did just really neat little recessed lights in the ceiling. So we wanted to get a little bit of a pool of light over the coffee table, so we did really discreet little ceiling recessed lights from John Cullen Lighting. And we have a window seat over here, and again a really nice textured Roman blind. Cute little stool with a Fermoy fabric over by the window. And the thing that I'm most excited about actually in this room is this antique fireplace. So this wasn't original to the house, but I sourced it for the client, and I just loved the warmth of the rose colour coming through. And what we did then in the chamber of the fireplace is this rustic old herringbone brick. The client really wanted a TV in this space, and the only place we could really put it because of the layout was over this fireplace, but this is really, really cozy at night, and the client wanted a solid fuel stove in here as well. Then in this nook, what we did was we kind of two-toned it, so we did painted finish, and then we clad it in the oak. It's the same colour oak as I have on the island in the kitchen, and the island, or the kitchen and the living space, are kind of open plan, so they work well together. And then we just decorated it with some accessories and we backlit it, so this is a lovely kind of cozy, intimate room at night. This is the front entrance of the cottage, and I'll show you what we call the whiskey room. Come on in. So this is the whiskey room. In the old cottage, it was actually the kitchen in here, but it was really one of the darkest spaces in the house, so we moved the kitchen out to where there was much more light. This is the original old stone cottage wall. It was already painted, so we just freshened it up with a little bit of paint. And actually, I want to turn on these lights for you because you'll see it glow a little bit more. Just one second. Okay, now that the lights are on, you can see that we did the discreet little ceiling lights to highlight all of that texture on that lovely cottage wall. We did just like an oak shelf so that we could put a few accessories on top and they can light candles and that at night. The client wanted their own solid fuel stove in here, and again the ceiling height is really low in here. That was the existing, and these little slats were here already, so we gave them a freshen up of paint. We added 2 sofas, and this is really a conversational area for the client because there's no TV in here. So this is where they wanted guests to come in or to sit down and read a book and be able to just relax without any TV. So we have the relaxed sofas either side, and then over here we did almost like a little drink station. A shelf on the top for their accessories and all of their drinks. Yeah, it's just a nice little station to have here, and we did that in the oak. And then everything else we did in Farrow Pigeon is the paint colour. So it's that kind of greeny undertone. And also in this room we did a lovely tumbled limestone floor, which feels very cottagey in the space. And we did these, they're Sanderson fabric, I think, and they have like a floral in them. I'll link that in the description as well. Then under the stairs we have a reading nook. So just to use up all of those little spaces, we added fabric that has a contrast piping on it that pulls in the rug just to give it a lift of warm colour. And I love this light from Pookie. It's like a little scallop shell, which is really pretty as well. Now we're into the principal bedroom. In this room, this window wasn't actually here, but there is such a nice view out here. We added a window and you can see the textured plaster, which is really nice. I think it gives it that really cottagey feel. And we just wanted it to be warm but fresh and calm in here, so the client wanted a serene space. We did a nice Roman blind. We did that with the Larson fabric, and I love Larson fabrics because they're all very earthy. They get the colours really right. We also did little uplighters into the window, so it highlights it really at night. You can't see it too well in the daytime, but it does give that lovely little glow. Also up here we replaced all of the flooring, but we found this kind of checkered rug which brings a bit of texture to the space. And then over here we did a little bit of wall paneling just to bring a little bit of detail to behind the bed. And we did a simple headboard with almost like an antique-y looking fabric. The fabric kind of looks aged already, but it's brand new. And that one I'm almost certain was a Pierre Frey fabric, but when I check my notes later I can leave it in the description. Then the client got little side tables, and they're just quite simple ones for now. And then the bedside lamps are from Neptune. And over in this section we have a dressing area. So nice mirror, little drawer for storage, and we got this cute little swivel chair. So you can actually sit in at the dressing table, but there's actually a beautiful view out here and a small little balcony that the clients can sit out on. So it's lovely to be able to swivel around and look at the Irish countryside in the distance. The other thing to mention here is this beautiful wallpaper. So if you look up here, it's like kind of a woodland kind of tree, serene kind of vibe, and we just loved adding the interest to the ceiling here because we have that lovely ceiling height and it makes it a bit whimsical in here. And there are the existing beams, so again we stripped those back to bring out the natural wood. And then we did nice, very simple linen curtains with a very simple pleat. So just nice, streamlined, simple, nothing too crazy in here, but definitely a calming space. Now we're in the family bathroom, and what we did here is we just tried to make the best use of the available space. Obviously it's a cottage, so we have to work with a lot of the characteristics that are already here. What the client wanted was kind of a nice open feeling in this space, so we didn't put any shower screen up, but we did do this lovely Calacatta marble and a bespoke vanity in oak. And we tried to make the best use of this space in here by adding some shelving. So oak shelving to tie in with the vanity. And on the Calacatta marble, it has that lovely warm vein coming through, which you'll see the other warm details I added into the rest of the space. I added in the brass taps, did a nice upstand with a small shelf on it. And I found this really cute mirror that has the little bit of green. So then there's just some drawers for storage in the vanity. And over in the shower area, we did a little bit of limestone here, and we did the small little lights in the shower area and matched up our taps with our shower fittings. And there's a lovely kind of pebble effect on the shower floor with kind of an antique brass string. And then the other star of the show in this room is this copper bath. The client really wanted a copper bath, and I just love how interesting and warm it feels in the space. So we added a little bit of paneling, did the white tiles on the walls, and then there's some kind of Irish photography. And one other thing I wanted to show you here is obviously the windows were in the locations they were in. So what we did was, on the floor we did a limestone, and just to make it a little bit more interesting, we created a pattern out of the limestone. So we changed the direction of the limestone just to make it visually interesting. And over here I did a marble shelf to match the Calacatta on the worktop, and then did the little uplights into the window reveal. And these are all new sash windows, and I absolutely love the blind. So this kind of warmer colour really picks up on the warm vein in the marble on the vanity and on the brass top. This is one of the little girls' rooms. The client really wanted to make 2 really special bedrooms for each of their girls, and we put a lot of detail in here. So one of them you can see is this really pretty floral wallpaper with the butterflies in it. We went into the wall and added a wardrobe for storage. Obviously we were limited in space, but we got the absolute most out of the space that was available to us. We did a lovely paneling on the walls, on the Roman blind to make it a bit fun. We added like this little bubble trim at the end, which is pretty, and in each of the original kind of cottage windows we added the uplighters just to warm up the window reveals. Over here, these actually light up. I should try and light them up for you so you can see. They've got like little LEDs in them, which is quite sweet. They're hot air balloons. Now, her little desk with her gingham chair, which is so cute, and the trestle table. The client helped pick up lots of little cute things that she found for her daughter. And then the other special thing in here is there's a whole mix of colours going on. So this is actually a subtle pink. Now we have a kind of a pink with almost a lilac hue coming through on the ceiling. And then we designed and made these bunk beds for her little girls. And we painted them in like a light green. I think it was a little green colour, celadon I think, but I'll double check it and put it in the notes. And we did a green curtain so she can actually close this at night if she's reading a book, and it really feels like a little den-like feel, which is really cute for little kids. So lots of details in the bunk. We put a little bit of added storage in under there and added the oak ladder, and each of the beds has a reading light because their girls love reading. And just at the back of the door we've a few more little details, so I'll show you. Some shelving for all of their reading books. Very nice little girls' toys like the pram and the basket, and again the wallpaper, and there's that little bobbin type detail up here as well, and that ties in nicely with the Roman blind. We're into the other little girl's bedroom. Again, a very neat space. We added bunk beds, and it was a tight squeeze, but we managed to fit them in, and they're perfect length. And inside the bunk beds we did like a unicorn whimsical wallpaper again for a little bit of added fun, and we did it up on the ceiling. We did the kind of bobbin detail and a different detail on the outside of the bunk. We painted it a very pale pink. We did the washed wood ladder, and these were the existing beams we were working with. She got a small desk so she can colour or read. Something else I wanted to mention is these little knobs. They're like a little bit of pale yellow for another pop of colour. There's a bit of storage under here in the drawers. And over the other side we did glass on the wardrobe doors, and then we backed them with this pretty Pierre Frey stripe fabric. So again, plenty of colours going on in here, but quite fun for a little girl's room. In the hallway we replace the old stairs that was here because it was actually really steep. So we brought the stairs back to give it kind of a bigger span so that it worked better in the space. And these were the existing beams that were here, and again on the ceiling we did the very discreet spotlights, so they just give a nice soft glow. We replaced the floors up here and did all of like a whitewashed plank just to open it out as much as possible and give a sense of flow and space. We did the wainscoting on the walls and we painted it this pale blue. It's a Zoffany paint, and I'll put the colour in the description. And over here we bought an antique chair. I just love a few antique pieces around the place, and the client loves them too, so that's a lovely little reading nook in the space. And they were cut for storage in the house, so we added these wardrobes, so they have all of this storage out in the hallway, which is great to have the additional storage. And we brought up that detail that we have in the mudroom downstairs onto the doors and did really dainty little doorknobs. And then on the, actually I'll show you up here, you might be able to notice, it's hard to see it with the light, but this whole wall is rough plastered again. So again, bringing in that lovely texture with the rough plastering, which feels very cottagey. And we did the uplights into the window reveals, and a Larson fabric again. I'm a big fan of Larson fabrics, and this one is kind of neutral. So again, it's a mix of kind of old and new, which I think works quite well in the space. On the stairs we did sisal, so nice and hard wearing, and we did a cotton taupey coloured border on it. It's been a long day. We're wrapping up and we're packing up to head back home. I hope you've enjoyed this home tour. It was a really special one to work on. A lovely little cottage with so many quaint details. Make sure you subscribe to the channel if you'd like to see us showing more of the houses we design. We are looking forward to sharing more with you when they're ready to shoot. Thanks, bye.